weekly sports stream, week 2. Let's fix the hair real quick. Wait for some people to get in here, then we will start it up. You know what? We can just get right into it. So starting it off. Oh shit. Hold up, yo. We gotta do something real quick. Hello, 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 hello. Webcam, turn the webcam on. There we go. Alright, weekly sports stream. We don't got a lot to talk about this week. It'll be a pretty short stream. But, let's get into it. First we got the MLB. Rays win the ALCS 4-3. Randy Arozarena gets the MVP. 362 average, 7 home runs, 10 RBIs. And then in the NLCS, the Dodgers come back from a 3-1. They were losing 3-1, like in the series, and they came back and won 4-3. Corey Seager MVP, postseason stats so far: 286 average, 6 home runs, 15 RBIs. Then last night we had the Dodgers played Game 1 versus the Rays. Take the dub in the World Series 8-3. Kershaw gets the win. No more choking Kershaw. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts. I said Rays in 6, so hopefully they can come out and win tonight or tomorrow night. Not sure which, either one of those two. Glasnow gets lost 4 in the thirds innings pitched, 6 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts. Last night, Kiermaier went 2 for 3, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Betts 2 for 4, 1 home run, 1 RBI. Muncy 2 for 4 and 2 RBIs. Bellinger 2 for 4, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Kike Hernandez, Chris Taylor, and Will Smith all had 1 RBI to total the 8 crucial runs. And yeah, that's how the Dodgers won. The Rays are gonna have to step it up. They're not playing the Astros anymore. They're not playing the Yankees anymore. They're playing the best team in baseball, arguably. Yeah. Rays in 6. Glasnow had a bad performance last night. They can score runs. The Rays can score runs. I believe in them. They put up runs against the Astros. They put up runs against the Yankees. They're okay. Don't get frightened if you're a Rays fan out there. Second up, we have NFL. Well, just gonna run through all the games. Best scores from each. Denver versus New England, 18-12. Drew Lock, 10 for 24, 189 yards, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. Brandon McManus, 6 for 6 on the field goals. Undrafted many years ago, got a four-year, $17 million extension before this year. 6 for 6 field goals, broke a franchise record. Then Tim Patrick had 4 receptions, 101 yards. That's just the only good stat I can really provide besides being a kicker. So it's all good. Yeah, that was the defense, the Denver defense that game. They really stepped it up. They had a lot of pass rush on the last play of the game even. That's what Cam had to throw early, missed his target by a lot. Cam kind of choked. They kind of choked. New England should not be losing to Denver. I know Tom Brady's not there still, but as a Bills fan, New England should not be losing to Denver. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Pittsburgh, 38-7. Absolute destruction. Big Ben, 162 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Connor, 101 yards, 1 touchdown. Yeah, so I mean Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield does well. Calls out haters, does bad. Criticized by the media. Whole circle. He needs to be consistent quarterback. He's okay. He just needs. When you have Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. and Nick Chubb at your disposal, and you only score 7 points, that does not look good for the Browns as an organization. They are 4-2. I will give them that. But they're playing the Bengals this week, so hopefully they can get that dub. Cincinnati, the Bengals versus the Indianapolis Colts. Colts win 31-27. I think Cincinnati was winning. Yeah, he does need consistency. I think Indianapolis came back by 21. They were down by 21, and they won 31-27. Phillip Rivers, 371 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, and T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals had 125 yards. Yes. Got you. Detroit Lions versus Jacksonville Jaguars, 34-16 Lions. Stafford, 223 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interceptions. DeAndre Swift, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had a big game from Swift. Now, there's nothing really to talk about. Both those teams are bad. Jacksonville they're both bad. That's really it. There's nothing really to talk about there. I am in a second. Don't worry. I know they lost. Yeah, the Bills did lose, but we'll get to that later. Texans versus Titans. Titans win 42-36. Tannehill had 364 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Henry had 212 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Had a 94-yard touchdown run for Derrick Henry. Now, the Titans, they look shaky. They had to use overtime to win against the Texans. Now, there's a controversial call. The Texans could have gone for 1 point and just had an 8-point lead and then forced the Titans to go for 2 with like a minute left. But they went for 2. They didn't get it. So all the Titans had to do was kick up PAT, and they tied it, forces overtime. Washington football team versus the New York Giants. New York Giants fans, I know you're out there, got your first dub. 2019, Daniel Jones, 112 yards passing. Great game by Daniel Jones. 1 touchdown, 1 reception, 74 yards rushing. He shows he can run the football. I mean, is it against the Washington football team? Yes, but he shows he can run. And then Giants had 1 defensive touchdown. Baltimore versus the Philadelphia Eagles. 30-28. Baltimore takes the dub. Jackson, 186 throwing yards, 1 touchdown, and 108 rushing yards. This is a scare for Baltimore. You're 4-2. Yes, Washington football team. Baltimore's 4-2. But you can't only win by 2 points against the Eagles. I mean, yeah, the Steelers are 5-0 and they're the top of your division, and they only beat the Eagles by 8 points or something like that last week. But if you're the Ravens, I am not confident in the Ravens to be a actual contender in the playoffs. Will they make the playoffs? Yes, they will make the playoffs. But if you beat the Eagles by 2 points, that's not a good sign. Atlanta versus Minnesota. 40-23. Atlanta wins. Get their first win. Ryan threw for 371 yards, 4 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, 166 yards, 2 touchdowns. Garbage time, really. But neither of those teams are contenders. But Minnesota, they lost their chance for the playoffs. They had so many years. They were good, and just year after year after year, they blew it. From the missed tackle to the missed field goal against the Seahawks a while back. Or was that yeah, that was them. But yeah, they gotta start rebuilding. You can't expect to go to the playoffs with your Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. I expect them to draft a quarterback this year. Trade Kirk Cousins for something. Trade him to I don't know. Trade him. Not the Chargers. I mean, trade him to the Jets. Why not? The Jets have no faith in Darnold. Chicago Bears versus Carolina Panthers. Bears win 23-16. Foles 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 reception. Bridgewater of the Carolina Panthers, 216 yards, 0 touchdowns, but 2 picks. Bears, they're a contender. I'm gonna say it. They're a contender. They're gonna make the playoffs. They're gonna win. It depends who they face in the first round, but I feel confident that they're good enough. They're good enough. This week doesn't prove them at all, but in my opinion, I didn't need this week to prove them. It just, they look good. Foles has got to do better than 198 yards, though. With the little running game that they have, you're not going to win against good football teams with 198 yards out of your quarterback. Unless you have an amazing defense. They have an okay defense. New York Jets versus Miami Dolphins. Safe, you got a New York Jets t-shirt. Way to go. I think I do too. It's old though. That's back when I actually liked the Jets. Jets, Dolphins. Dolphins win 24-0. Jets put up a big 0. Fitzpatrick, 191 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Myles Gaskins of the Miami Dolphins, 91 yards rushing. The Jets, they're just terrible. They're gonna go 0-16. I told you they're going 0-16. You can't. I don't know. They're just terrible. Your defense gets you 2 picks and you can't put up any points. That is like genuinely the saddest thing ever. Your defense holds the Dolphins to 24 points. Not great, but I mean, to put up nothing, not a good sign. Green Bay Packers versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers win 38-10. Ronald Jones, 113 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. The Buccaneers had 2 interceptions and 1 pick six. Oh, Safe says the Jets are going 2-14. Okay, all right. He has some hope for them. Still very bad, but it's not 0-16 bad. There are only a couple teams that ever do that. I think maybe 1 or 2. I'm not sure, but yeah. Packers lose by 28. Aaron Rodgers absolutely did horrendous this game. There's no way around it. Yeah. LA Rams Sunday night football game. LA Rams versus San Francisco 49ers. 49ers win 24-16. Big win. Garoppolo 270 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Kittle 109 yards receiving, 1 touchdown. That whole division is like decent at least. The NFC West, almost all of them, maybe exception for the 49ers, but you put any of those teams in the NFC East, they win the division. Any of those. Now we got the Monday night football game, Arizona Cardinals versus Dallas Cowboys. Cardinals win 38-10. Kyler Murray throws for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kenyon Drake runs for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Christian Kirk catches for 2 touchdowns. Dallas is terrible. This is a good win for Cardinals. Good win for the Cardinals. Dallas is terrible. There's Andy Dalton is your quarterback. You have one of the worst. Ezekiel Elliott only played 48% of the snaps. When you have your second string quarterback in, you cannot have your one running back play 48% of the snaps and expect to win a ball game. It's just stupid, honestly. Arizona, their defense is terrible. Or not Arizona. Dallas's defense is terrible. You can't allow 40 points every week. That's what they've been doing. They allowed the Browns to score 48 points. Look at the Steelers' defense. Allowed 7 against the Browns. Oh, whatever. Now my Bills versus Kansas City Chiefs. 26-17 loss. Mahomes, blah, blah, blah. 225 yards, 2 touchdowns, 161 yards rushing. Kelsey, 2 touchdowns. As a Bills fan, this scares me. Back-to-back weeks lost in prime time. They are not ready for the prime time lights, prime time teams. Their running defense is absolutely atrocious. I think the Chiefs broke the franchise record for rushing yards in a game. That is embarrassing as a Bills fan. I miss when our defense was good, to be honest, which was literally 12 months ago, not even. Yeah. And Allen just can't throw the football for his life. There was one drive where he went 5 for 5 or something. He looked good, but he couldn't repeat it. He could not repeat it after that, and it's kind of embarrassing. I mean, it is. It's fully embarrassing. We're 4-2. We should not be 4-2. We should be 5-1. 5-1, 6-0. It's just stupid, but it's all good. All right. Now moving on to the second half of the football talk. Fantasy leaders. Anybody have any questions about the games? To my one viewer? No. Cool. Fantasy leaders. Derrick Henry, 40.4 points. Justin Jefferson, 39.6 points. Julio Jones, 33.7. Deshaun Watson, 32. Matt Ryan 31.64. So I feel like fantasy numbers are getting higher and higher each week. I mean, yeah, Jefferson, garbage time. Henry, overtime. And a 94-yard run. That's like 15 points just from that. 94-yard touchdown run, that's like 15 points just from that. Watson and Ryan, just two quarterbacks who throw for a lot of yards, get touchdowns, who have no run game behind them. And Julio Jones, Matt Ryan's favorite target. He has been, he forever will be. Even with Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, he's just Henry is goated. Yes. Now here are my top 5 waiver wire pickups if you are looking for your pickups in fantasy football. Number 1, we got actually we'll start at 5. Boston Scott. Miles Sanders is out for the Eagles. Pick up Boston Scott. He has potential. Mike Williams he's been getting points up and up every week. Pick him up. J.D. McKissick, good PPR value with Mostert out. Mostert out. That was for the. He's got PPR value. He's a running back that can catch. Preston Williams, number 2. He could be. 2 is looking for a new target. Maybe it's Preston Williams. Maybe. Now my number 1, Travis Fulgham. Averaged like 20 points the past like 3 weeks. I picked him up in my league. I'm 3-3, so I don't know if you should listen to me, but pick him up. Trust me, start him this week. He's playing the Giants. Start him this week. He's going to have Bradbury against him. That's their best corner. Start Fulgham this week. Now, standings watch. We got the Bills are 4-2, and the Dolphins 3-3 right behind them. The Bills are going to have another loss this week. Dolphins win, or the Dolphins are on a bye. But scary stuff for Bills fans like myself. AFC North, Steelers 5-0, Ravens 5-1, Browns 4-2. Browns are irrelevant. Ravens, you got to keep winning. Steelers, you got to keep winning. Steelers got a tough game this week against the Titans. 5-0 versus 5-0. Yeah. NFC North, Packers 4-1, Bears 5-1. Packers are better than the Bears. They're just had an off week. They'll get right back on that horse and keep fighting. NFC West, Seattle Seahawks 5-0, Cardinals and Rams both 4-2, 49ers 3-3. Like I said, any of those teams, put them in the NFC East, winning the division easily. But out of those teams, I believe that 3 out of the 4 of them are contenders. 49ers not contenders. Yeah, they made it to the Super Bowl last year. They're not contenders though. Lost too many. They will win. I'll give them 9 games to win. 9 or 10. No, not 10, because that's like playoffs if they win 10. 8 or 9. Cardinals and Rams. Cardinals are better than the Rams. So, Seahawks win the division, definitely. Cardinals and Rams, they could honestly pick up the 2 wildcard spots. If either the Bears or the Packers fall off, they could pick up the 2 wildcard spots. There could be 3 NFC West teams in the playoffs. But yeah. And then I'm making 4 picks this week. 3 picks. 1 is a total upset. I'm not saying scores. I'm just saying 1 is a total upset. The other 3 are just picks. So I'm taking Bills over Jets. My Bills are gonna easy win against the Jets. Not that hard. Steelers over Titans. Big decision. That's a tough game. I was gonna pick either one. Yeah, Rams definitely a wild card. I like that. Safe. Steelers over Titans. And then final non-upset pick, 49ers over New England. Yeah. And then my upset, Cincinnati Bengals, the 1-3-1, I think, 1-4-1, something like that. Bengals are going to beat the 4-2 Browns. Joe Burrow's going to have an amazing day. He's going to show out. Throw it to T. Higgins. Throw it to Tyler Boyd. Got them in my fantasy team. Throw them to them both. Yeah. All right. Last little section here. Then I'm going to end it. College football. This one's much shorter. We only have a couple things to talk about. Last week we had the NBA to talk about and the NHL. But by next week we'll only have the NFL to talk about. I'll probably be a lot more in depth about that though. Um, AP top 10. Clemson at 1, 5-0, stayed there last week. Alabama 2, 4-0, stayed there. Notre Dame 4-0, up 1, went from 4 to 3. Georgia 3-1, went down from 3 to 4. Ohio State 0-0, up 1, went from 6 to 5. Oklahoma State went from 7 to 6. They are 3-0. Texas A&M is 3-1. They're at 7. They went from 11 to 7. Penn State 0-0, went from 9 to 8. Cincinnati 3-0, went from 8 to 9. And Florida 2-1, stayed at the 10 spot. There are a couple upsets this week. Coastal Carolina beat number 21 Louisiana 30 to 27. Florida State University beat number 5 North Carolina 31 to 28. South Carolina beat number 15 Auburn 30 to 22. The University of Kentucky beat the number 18 seed, the University of Tennessee 34 to 7. A lot of big upsets. Knocked a couple of people out. Louisiana got knocked out, I believe. So North Carolina went from 5 to 14, down 9 spots. Iowa State went from 20 to 17, up 3. Virginia Tech went from 23 to 19, up 4. Marshall unranked to 22. NC State unranked to 23, and Coastal Carolina unranked to 25. Couple big things there. Notre Dame, a lot of people don't think they should be that high. They've played 4 bad opponents, but their defense is outstanding. Their defense is amazing. Like there's no way around it. But they're absolutely insane. Their defense. That's all I really got to talk about. Wrap up. One thing, Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins, a left-handed quarterback, named starter over Ryan Fitzpatrick. And I think that's all we got. I think that's all we got. Not a lot this week, because, well, you know what, let's check out NHL free agency. Maybe there's something up here. Nothing really. Matt Grzelcyk signed a 4-year, $13.75 million deal. Big deal for the Bruins. Tony DeAngelo signed for 2 years, 9.6 to the Rangers. Brendan Gallagher, 6-year, $39 million to the Canadiens. That's really all we got. Oh, Alex Pietrangelo. Oh, geez, he signed to the Golden Knights for 7 years, $61 million. He was the biggest free agent in NHL, and he just signed to the Vegas Knights. All right, that's a big deal. Taylor Hall, you got the Mikko Koivu signed a 1-year, 1.5 with the Blue Jackets. Sorry, I almost said Red Wings. Blue Jackets. Torrey Krug, a defenseman, signed with the Blues. 7-year, $45.5 million with the Blues. TJ Brody, 4 years, $20 million to the Maple Leafs. Kevin Shattenkirk went with the Lightning. Now he's on the Ducks. 3 years, $11.7 million deal. Yeah, I mean, that's really all I got. I will see you all next week. Monday or Wednesday, not sure yet. Wednesday just worked out better for me. Also, I can pick for sports for the football games. Also, Monday, it will be before Monday Night Football. So, yeah. Thanks for everyone who joined the stream. It's going to be up on YouTube. Subscribe down in the thing down there. Should be like right there. Should be like right there. Subscribe to YouTube. We got 13. Once we get to 50 here, affiliate here, and 25 there, no, we'll call it 30 there. 30 on YouTube. Doing a giveaway. Actually, no, maybe not a giveaway. I don't know. Giveaway or like, I'll do something special. Maybe not a giveaway because I don't feel like spending money on. Of course, Safe. You're welcome for the informative stream. Yeah, check back every week. Sports news. Alright, peace.